Hi there, Mormons Building Bridges. Thanks for watching this Mormons Building Bridges Pride Parade tutorial video. Joining us, we have Vicki Wimmer Johnson, who is a mentor for Mormons Building Bridges and for anybody who wants to carry the Mormons Building Bridges banner in a Pride Parade. We also have Nina Brostrom, who is also a mentor, who is going to be playing the role of a potential leader of a Mormons Building Bridges contingent in a Pride Parade, and she's going to ask all the questions that you hopefully have burning in your mind over how to do this. And then we have Erica Munson, who is the godmother of Mormons Building Bridges and all things bridge building. So she will give lots of answers as well. So with those introductions, I'll turn it over to Vicki and Erica to give just a little bit of a primer, a setup to what are we even talking about? Like people march in pride parades with Mormons Building Bridges banner?
Okay, I'll start. Yeah. In many cities all over the country and all over the world, there are gay pride festivals, or pride festivals, and often there is a parade involved. And so any group can apply to a pride parade and be a marching group. Vicki, what else?
Well, we have this really cool banner that says Mormons Building Bridges. And a few years ago, Erica, you said, hey, I want to participate as a Mormon with the Pride organization. And you said, I know, we'll march in Pride in our Sunday clothes. And just, it's one of my favorite things ever. I love being there as a Mormon saying, here I am and I love you. And I'm so happy to be there.
Yeah, I haven't seen so many members of the church and former members of the church or never want to be members of the church hugging and crying as I have seen with Mormons Building Bridges contingents marching in different pride parades around the country. So a lot of spirit is felt there. So Nina, you are playing the part of the prospective leader of a contingent in your hometown. So what are all the questions that you would have off the top of your head about how do you go about getting this to happen in your pride parade in your local town?
So first, I guess, where do I even go to get information or to contact someone to get information?
Go to the mormonsbuildingbridges.org website.
Okay.
And look for pride parades. It's one of the categories up top that you can click on, and you can contact, and it will give you email contact to a pride parade mentor and an application that you can click on, as well as the guidelines for marching.
So if someone in my city has already signed up, will I know? Do we have more than one group for Mormons Building Bridges? How does that work?
If someone has already signed up in your city, then they will be posting that on, and we will be sharing that on the Facebook page, the actual event, it'll be a Facebook event so that people can get invited. And also on that website, it will say, for instance, if you went to the Mormons Building Bridges website right now, it says that we're marching in Phoenix, because that one is paid for, ready, and set.
So if I just want to march, I don't have to pay, but if it's already set up, I can just show up. Do I need to let them know I'm showing up? It's just if I want to start my own group that I need to get it all organized. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep.
And then where do I get the funds? Is this just my personal donation? And how is it expensive?
Great question. The pride in your area. So I go to the Phoenix Pride page, online when I'm ready to sign up for the parade. Okay. And I find on the festival page, it'll say parade, to march in the parade. And so I click on that, and it tells me that I need to pay this much if I'm a nonprofit, that's what we are. We don't do this for profit. So I always sign up as a nonprofit, and so it asks me for $75, and so that's a pretty standard amount to pay.
So I submit the application, or do I submit it through you and you submit it?
Excellent question. You do. If you are the one wanting to do it in your city, then you fill out that application on there's a tab for it on our page, mormonsbuildingbridges.org. You fill out that application, and then we will contact you and talk to you, either by email or by phone. We can talk to each other, and you tell me why you want to do it, and once you fill out that application, then yes, you go to the website for the Pride organization and apply to march in your city.
So the first application is apply to Mormons Building Bridges, and then after that's approved, your second application will be applied directly to the Pride Festival in your town.
So as the person that's heading it up, am I in charge? What am I responsible for? Like, how do I receive signage? Am I responsible for, like, the people within the group adhering to the guidelines set by Mormons Building Bridges? Do I have control over who shows up? How does that work?
You are responsible for making it clear to everybody who wants to march with you what the Mormons Building Bridges marching guidelines are. And those are also available on our website. As far as the big banner goes, we will send you a big banner, Mormons Building Bridges, with our logo on it. Shall we talk about guidelines in particular, guys? Yeah, okay. I'm going to click on the guidelines right now and read them. Okay, so what if you're, first of all, what to wear? You dress in your Sunday best. This has been a Mormons Building Bridges trademark, okay? One of the guiding principles of MBB marches is that we march because of our faith, not in spite of our faith. And getting dressed for church is an outward symbol of our faith. So we wear dresses or skirts for women and shirts and ties for men. We want active Mormons to look at the wonderful pictures, and I tell you, we get amazing pictures in the press that go on forever. And we want active Mormons to look to see us marching and feel like those are my people. So that's the idea behind the what to wear. Vicki, do you want to talk about signage?
So signage, there's a list, okay? A really good way to find out about signage is to actually look at the photos, and there's hundreds of those on the Facebook page. But signage just needs, we have a list, but signage just ends up being quotes from quotes from primary songs and some scriptures. There's scriptures on the list. We do like to have those also to be recognizable as, oh, those are my people.
And often, we don't allow any signs or clothing with political messages. And if that is your particular passion, a particular political issue, then I bet there's another group at Pride that you could march with, or you could, create your own group around that, whatever that issue is. But it's really important that our messages be hymns, scriptures, and general authority quotes.
Love from the church.
You bet.
So how are my people going to receive it if they see me in the paper? How does that usually go over with my bishop or stake president or board members?
I think the first step is tell them that you're marching before they see it in the paper.
Okay.
Talk to them about what you're doing. It's entirely possible that they will have concerns about it. I have never experienced that. I am in a pretty conservative ward and have never experienced that, but some people have. I think reading through the website and actually showing the mormonsbuildingbridges.org website to your leaders if they are concerned can help a lot. What would you say, Vicki?
I think that's a great idea. I love that. And I'm wondering, I love it when you say, that's what I always do. I tell them before I do it, because it makes me think, why didn't I do that? I probably could have avoided the discomfort that I felt had I just said, hey, I'm going to do this. I feel excited about this year because I just barely told my bishop up front, I'm going to be doing this, and it's really a great experience. So, and he just listened, and it was awesome.
Which is not to say that there might be some really difficult conversations. I mean, there are a lot of Mormons who feel like we are condoning sin by doing this. And so you have to think about that, wrestle with that, think about what is what does love and support look like to you? What does Christ-like love look like to you? And then talk about that with somebody.
I had a question that I just lost.
Well, I've got one. Speaking of concerns over condoning sin, what about, I've got several layers to this question. What about members of the church who are now in same-sex marriages marching with Mormons Building Bridges, or people who are not in marriages but they're dating, right? They're dating somebody of the same sex, but they want to march with the Mormons Building Bridges group. Are there restrictions on that, or is there a policy or guidelines on that?
There's no set of questions or things you have to pass to march with Mormons Building Bridges. You simply need to follow the guidelines. I realize that a gay couple holding hands would not be in the guidelines of behavior at a church school, for instance. But we also, if somebody wants to identify as a Mormon building a bridge, they should be with us if that's what they want to do. And so it also needs to be authentic in some way for them too. So I personally would not have a problem with a gay couple holding hands. Vicki, what do you think?
Those are my, I get so excited when we have a gay couple with us. It makes me feel more authentic at a pride. I love it.
Think about church. If a gay couple came to church, we're not talking policy, we're not talking membership, excommunication, disciplinary, anything. If a gay couple came to church and sat in the pew and held hands, would somebody kick them out? I certainly hope not. So that's how I think about it.
Okay. And then what if again my bishop or stake president then questions me in my involvement, like, wait, so you had people who are now considered apostate, according to the church handbook of instructions, marching with you, and then you were marching in a parade that in essence sort of condones sinful behavior. That seems to run afoul of question number 7 in the Temple Recommend questions about affiliating with any group that has beliefs contrary to those of the church.
I think meeting and loving people where they are is what the Savior did. That's how I answer that question.
Vicki?
That's one of the reasons that we use quotes from general authorities and scriptures and primary songs in our marching, because those share the feelings of our hearts. Why are we there? Why do I feel so, I can just tell you straight up, I feel like it's the Spirit of God that told me to do this. So, and I know that isn't what I've talked to people who say, I could never do that. That isn't what God tells me. And I respect that, but I know God told me to do it. So it's hard. Those are such good questions, because it makes a lot of fun conversations.
So what if somebody does show up to march with my group in my town, and either has a sign that's not on the list of approved signs, or is wearing a t-shirt, a shirt, or some sort of outfit that is political in nature, or again is they're not wearing Sunday clothes? How do I respond to those people?
I have very politely explained the mission of Mormons Building Bridges, and how important it is for people who are just beginning their journey of LGBT acceptance to see our group and feel like they are that this is part of their tribe. And, ask them either not to use the sign, or also in the case of political messages, find another group in the parade. And that's, or march with some other group. And there are always groups. My experience has been there's always some group in the parade that's going to be happy to have you.
And we'll help them find.
Yes. Right. It might be,
group.
it might be a good idea. Take a look and look at all the groups in the parade, and see if there's one that you think you might work to be able to, you might even want to talk to them. We've had a nice relationship with the Unitarian Universalists and the Church of Christ and stuff like that. So, who welcome people from all faiths.
So, excuse me, Cart, were you asking me a question?
No, I was pointing at you. Go for it.
How are we usually received with the other marchers? Like, we're here as Mormons singing scriptures, which are typically not historically in sync with that group. Like, how are we usually received?
With incredible love and incredible thanks. On the whole, there are always some people who are not happy to see us, and totally understand. But really, on the whole, it's just been incredibly welcoming. Would you agree, Vicki?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they look. I had a gentleman who came to march with us, and he was dressed in his Sunday clothes, and he as he walked through the crowds, one of the Pride people saw him and says, "You're looking for the Mormons?" And he says, "Yes, I am." And they told him right where to go. So they get excited. There's always somebody who, there could be somebody who doesn't want you there, but it is so outweighed by how happy they are that you are there, and they get excited and they talk to you, and it's really a wonderful experience.
And it's totally understandable on both sides of that equation, meaning it might be totally understandable for somebody who has been very wounded by their Mormon church experience, either through their family or leaders, because they are gay or transgender and have felt rejected. It's understandable that they would say, no, this pride space that we've created out here is set apart so I don't have to deal with you bigoted people, right? That's totally understandable. And then it's also totally understandable that a Mormon thinking about wanting to go march in Pride Parade might feel a lot of trepidation, like, well, they don't want us there, or they're going to do things that I don't agree with, or I don't want to be dressed like in my church best and then march down the, Pride Parade. That seems out of place. So totally understandable that there's trepidation on both sides, and that is literally why Mormons are there to build bridges. So it's totally understandable, but it's also not insurmountable.
And it's a fabulous spiritual experience for that reason, because there's potentially so much conflict, because you have to, we're living in an unresolved kind of tension.
Can I bring my children?
We've had children in all our marches. I think it's great. Kids have had fun. It's pretty easy to, if there are parts of the Pride Parade that you're not comfortable with your kids seeing, it's pretty easy to keep them in your group, you know, and be in control of their environment.
Okay.
Yeah, so just to extrapolate on what Erica was saying, because of the way marches are organized and set up, you are given a meeting area where you meet as your group, and you really don't see much of the parade outside of that little group because everybody moves as one, and you only see the people who are in front of you, and maybe if you look behind, the people that are behind you, but you don't see the whole parade. And so if there are elements that you think might not be appropriate for your children, then that is a sort of a quick and easy fix. Just hang out with the Mormons, march with the Mormons, and then leave, and you'll be fine.
And you know what's also worth it as the organizer is to check out who's in front and who's in back of you before the parade. And if there's somebody that you think would make it really, really difficult, you can, you know, very nicely talk to the organizer and say, any way we could change, you know, the position here. So.
Okay.
Any other questions, Nina?
I can't think of any right now.
Great. So just to review, if somebody wants to host a marching contingent of Mormons Building Bridges in the Pride Parade, first thing they should do is really go to the Mormons Building Bridges website and click on the Pride Parade tab at the top of the page and read through that page. That will have a lot of review of everything that's been said here. And then definitely then next thing to do is click on the application to apply to be able to carry the Mormons Building Bridges banner. But if I don't want to be in charge of my group in whatever city and town I'm in, and I just want to march with the Mormons Building Bridges group, then I need to definitely watch the Mormons Building Bridges Facebook group, because there will be announcements in there about people in my city that are going to be hosting. And I can also always check back to the mormonsbuildingbridges.org website on the Pride Parade tab, where it has a list of all the cities around the world in the United States that will be hosting Mormons Building Bridges groups marching in the parade. Any other thoughts? Nope. All right.
That's it.
Thanks everyone for your contributions, and thank you to you viewers for tuning in. We hope this has been helpful.